This is someone that bought an iPhone XS Max, and you can see what is displaying on the screen is an iPhone but displaying Nokia logo, which is on the screen. Then we also have this other person that bought an iPhone 14 Pro Max with fake camera. You can see how the camera looks like, and the Edge and the App Store. Instead of bringing App Store, he's bringing Android Store, which is Play Store. You can see on your screen. And we also look at the camera. You can see how the camera looks like. The picture quality is not like compared to the main original iPhone. Then we also have this other person that went to buy a fake iPhone, but this is what you will discover when you unbox this phone. This is how it looks like. It looks just like the genuine one, but unfortunately this is not a genuine phone. It has an Android application installed on this phone. You can see all these things are some of the mistakes people make while buying an iPhone. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can be able to identify a genuine iPhone when you are thinking of buying a used iPhone, in order to avoid all these problems in which you can see that a whole lot of people have got themselves involved in all these kind of problems, unintentional, but unfortunately when they were thinking of getting a used phone, this is what they encountered. One of the first things in which you need to be able to identify while thinking of buying a used phone is first the battery. What you need to do is that whenever you're thinking of buying a used phone, you have to be able to know the battery health of the phone, or if the battery has been replaced or not. Because some of the problem in which people do is that when they buy a used phone, some of the problem is that they discover that the battery goes down quick. But you have to do what? Be able to know the battery health of the phone before buying the phone, because when you buy it with a low battery health of 65%, 70%, this can really make you to be frustrated while using the phone, because you will not be able to use the phone. The battery will drain down very fast, and a whole lot of other issues. So you have to be able to take note of these things which I'm going to be showing you. So when thinking of buying a used phone, make sure to look at the battery to see that the battery is 95% or 85%. Once it's below 80%, 75, 70, then 60%, I'll advise is either you still buy it or you can replace the battery, but only that it will cost you extra money to be able to replace the battery with a different one. And even the one you are getting, you don't know if it's actually a genuine battery, because when you change an iPhone battery, most time it doesn't show the battery health when you replace the battery with a new one. So you have to be very careful to be sure that they've not changed the battery and the battery health is at its best, which is 90, 85 and others. So you have to make sure that is either is 100% to 85%. Once it's below 80, you have to replace the battery when you are thinking of buying a used phone. So these are some of the problems in which you are going to encounter when you are thinking of buying a used phone. You have to really take note of the battery. So another thing is to be able to look at the IMEI, which is the serial number of the phone. With the IMEI, you can be able to know where the phone comes from and which particular iPhone this actually is, if it is genuine or fake. But nowadays we have a whole lot of fake iPhones that have IMEI. At times it's quite difficult to be able to trace these things, and some of the things in which you also need to take note of is the frame of the phone, the outlook of the phone, most especially the camera, in which is one of the videos in which I showed you. You can see that the camera is quite different from the genuine one. So these are some of the little things in which you have to look after while thinking of buying a used or refurbished phone. So now with the IME, I'm going to be showing you how you're going to be able to check the IME.
General. At the top of the General menu, tap on About. Scroll down and copy the IMEI number of the iPhone. Open a web browser and search for iCloud Lock Check. There are several sites available, but let's use the top one. Scroll down to Serial Number or IMEI Number Enter section. Paste the IMEI number into the website search field and hit Check. Wait for the website to process the information. Once it is done, scroll down and see iCloud Lock. It is off, then your iCloud is not locked, and that's it.
Another thing which you need to be able to check while buying a used phone is the charging system. You need to be able to know if the charging system has been replaced or if there's faults with the charging, because some of these used phones, maybe some of them might have fallen from the owners, and sometimes some of the problem with iPhone is that once they fall, at times they may have charging issues, or at times there may be dust or dirty inside the charging port. So at times you need to be able to know if the charging system is working. So you need to be able to connect a charger. Don't buy a phone that you didn't test if is actually charging, or if the charging is actually adding up. So you have to be very sure that you test the charging system while thinking of buying a used iPhone. You have to check the iOS, which is the operating system on an iPhone. Currently we have the iOS 18, which is currently trending everywhere right now, but you need to be able to know if the current iOS supports any application in which you're going to install on the phone, because it's very important to know the version of your iOS, if the version of the phone is current or is outdated. Once it's outdated, you have to be able to update the iOS so that you can be able to download updated or latest apps on your iPhone. So these are some of the things in which you need to be able to know while buying a used iPhone. Make sure while you are buying it, ask the person if there's or you check if there's an iCloud on the phone, if the phone is locked on an iCloud account, because once it's locked on an iCloud account, make sure you tell the person to remove the iCloud before buying it. And after the person removes the iCloud account from the phone, make sure you factory reset the phone, because currently we have some phones that have bypassed, that they've been able to bypass the iCloud account. And if you factory reset the phone, that's when you're going to be able to see if there's actually an iCloud account on the phone. So at times, even though someone removed the iCloud account from the menu, said that's the settings, at times is quite difficult to be 100% sure that the account is not hidden on the iPhone because of bypass in which they might have done on the phone. So it's very important you factory reset the phone after they've removed the iCloud, or after buying a used iPhone for your own safety. So it's very important you factory reset the phone to be sure that the phone is fully unlocked, or if there's an iCloud account on the phone, check the Face ID. You have to be sure that the Face ID is working, because some of these iPhones, if they change the screen, if they've replaced the screen, so it can also affect the Face ID of this phone working properly. So you have to do what? Be able to test the Face ID or the True Tone to see if everything is working perfect. If you don't test these things, it might not be able to get all the benefits in which iPhone offers, either iPhone 14, iPhone 15 or 16, any of the iPhone, either the current one, 16, anyone in which you're thinking of buying, as long as it's a used iPhone, make sure you check the True Tone and the Face ID, because it's very important you are fully aware of what you are buying. So make sure to check the True Tone and the Face ID if these things are actually working very well. If you don't have idea, or you don't know how to check these things, look for someone that knows much on iPhone to be able to show you all this before buying a used iPhone. Another thing which you need to check is the camera quality, because some used iPhones, some of them, there may be dust inside the camera, because maybe the person have used the phone for some time. There may be dust, or maybe there may be scratches on the glass. So you have to be able to test the camera, take a selfie, take a full picture, and make a video while you are thinking of buying a used iPhone. If you don't check all these things, at times you might buy a phone that has problem with camera. The camera might be flicking, that's shaking. So you have to make sure that you test the camera, both cameras, both the selfie camera and the back camera. So you have to make sure you test these things before thinking of buying a used iPhone. Is the storage. You need to make sure you make inquiry of the storage capacity, or you check it yourself, and it's very simple to check. Once you are able to know the storage, you can either check if it is 64 gig or 128 gig or 256 gig or 1 terabyte. It all depends on you, the person that is buying, your choice. You have to be able to check these things on an iPhone, because it will really determine a whole lot. It will determine the amount of files in which you can store on your phone. And if you have a 64 gig storage, it can't take much things compared to 128 gig storage. So you have to do what? Make sure you check these things, the storage capacity of an iPhone, before thinking of buying an iPhone. So I believe you've gotten value from this video, and if you like what you've seen, make sure to give it a like, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I have a whole lot of videos coming up just for you. So thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.